Hi, folks. This is Alicia with Tuesday Night Talks. Sorry, I'm trying to check and make sure we're actually on. The tech gremlins have been bratty tonight. Hoi! All right. So, tonight on the Tuesday Night Talks, we are talking about breaking hexes and curses. And we have Nico O'Neill, who is a folk magic practitioner and practicing witch, that's going to be on tonight. Let me just get him over in here. Now, part of the reason why I'm bringing this up on the Tuesday Night Talks is that I feel that it's invaluable for everyone to know. Nico's a wonderful source of information and knowledge, and the guy is amazing. He will be doing more than likely almost all of the talking. I will only be here to guide, which actually I love. It's absolutely wonderful for me. And I love to listen and I love to learn along with you guys about stuff that I don't know everything about. So he should be on here in just a minute or two. Again, I do apologize for being so late, guys. Oy, I tell you what, these tech gremlins, they are just, I do not know what I am going to do with them. So, but happy that we're finally here. Once Nico comes on, I will go ahead and do the posting on Instagram and the shop website. Hi, Watcher. How are you? It's so wonderful. I am actually very, very happy. And we are this close to having an opening for the Tuesday Night Talk, which I'm very happy about. Also, Dennis actually figured out how to change the shop's voicemail so as we could actually do updates about the tornado damage. So now there's an update on there. Yay! Because we are still waiting on repairs for the tornado damage before we can open Des Moines shop again. So, lots of positive vibes, guys. Thank you. And without any further ado, here is Nico. Hey, Nico!
Hello, how we doing, guys?
Tell you what. Tech gremlins be bratty tonight.
Oh, yeah. Well, we're in the shadow phase for Mercury retrograde.
No, we're in a Pluto, Neptune, Saturn retrograde, and we've got a full moon in Aquarius.
True.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's like whee!
Mm-hmm.
That's okay. Up here, I'm still waiting to open the shop on all that storm damage.
Dang.
Yeah, I know. I'm calling my landlady, going, "Hey." She's like, "Hey." I'm like, "No, no, no. Hey." She's like, "Hi." Click. It's like, No, I'm kidding. She's actually really cool. But yeah, we're still waiting on a contractor, and then I got to schedule him an American interview.
Mm-hmm.
Or inspection, excuse me, not interview. How's it going in your neck of the woods?
Everybody has been discharged from the hospital. They're all recovering.
Yes.
I'll put it this way. It was so crazy that I went and had to question if somebody had attempted to hex me.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there like, there's just too much going on. And I know that, like, I have a lot of protections and wards up, so I know that they're most likely not going to hit me,
Right.
but go for people around me. So it was one of those where it's like,
No, I know. Yeah. Well, I tell you what, it's happening all over. You know the job that Dennis just got? He lost it today.
Oh.
Yeah. I tell you what, baby. I know the year is all about everything is falling apart to fall into place, but okay.
Yeah. I keep telling people that I'm riding a dumpster fire down a river and I'm looking for the paddle.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Guess you better stick your foot outside, huh? You're like, oh God almighty. No. Oh man. Well, at least I am glad to hear that everybody in your world is good. I am glad. And I'm also glad that there's nothing physically wrong with anybody around me. So, well, more than usual. We're all crazy. So, yeah. Oh, and how are you doing?
I'm doing good.
All right, my dear. Well, I pretty much told everybody this was going to be more the Nico show tonight because I know a little bit here and there about breaking hexes and curses, but like I said, spell work is not. I know of it academically, but it's not my thing. However, I'm going to start because I got some shit going on. So, yeah. But go ahead.
So I guess we should start with
How to diagnose, how to actually separate fact from fantasy, actual hex, actual curse. Because, and also how to separate it from, because that's the thing. You're always wondering, okay, is the universe just telling me to get off the path? For me, I know when it's somebody else working versus the universe sends some pretty distinct signs. It's not big on being
yeah,
cruel or malicious or vindictive, and it's not going to hurt people that you're close to.
true.
It
It
just,
may drive people out of your life, but it's
right.
not going to cause like mysterious illnesses, like weird car accidents, things
Yeah.
like that. That's not normal.
No.
Um, I guess the main thing to start looking for is um, what's going on in your life. Is it like one specific area? Are you having really bad luck? Like, is it a financial thing? Like, everything that can happen that's just going after your finances one after another, relationships. Uh, so, finances, relationships, your health. Been to the doctor, you're sick as hell, nobody found anything, you're just sick.
Right.
Um,
Okay. Okay. One thing though, the doctors could be idiots, and you need to get a second opinion. Sorry, but I had to say that.
True, yeah,
Okay.
go. It's always mundane before magical.
Okay.
That's one of the like first things that I was ever taught is it is always mundane before magical, which means that you need to exhaust all mundane options before you look at the magical,
Yes.
which kind of helps balance us out there. Um, with that being said, um, they always say trouble comes in threes.
Okay.
Um, that's kind of a folklore superstition thing in the South and in folk magic. That the devil always shows up in threes. So typically, when you have a run of bad luck, it generally stops after three. Now, when we start looking at is this something natural that's going on versus something that somebody's doing, is are we, you know, this happens in cycles. Is like I get really sick the week of the third Saturday every month. Or, I have weirdly the first week of the month, you know, I just don't have any luck. Um, do you have, your regular things? You get weird smells for no reason in the house, like things just smell weird. Or at work.
Hmm. Not because you're messy or because you have dishes in the sink, but
No, no,
yeah,
these are like
I know.
you've done all of your housework, everything, and there's just a weird smell. House plants dying, and you take care of your house plants, so it's not the like you forgot to water it. It's not that you put it in the wrong window. It just died. Things that are, one of the big ones is like birds dropping in your windows. So when a bird hits your window and they just flat out. Um, I've also heard birds entering the home.
Okay.
It depends on the bird, but
I was gonna say, what? Now hold on there, because why birds?
birds are known as specifically like blackbirds are a omen of the spirit world.
Okay.
They're generally associated with death or like sudden change.
Okay.
So when you have like a blackbird hit your window, things are either abruptly about to change from the universe or it's an omen of death, depending on where you're looking at in
Oh, that's
like
fine.
folklore. Uh,
Okay.
but typically for me, it's once is a coincidence, twice is suspicious, three times I'm starting to get a little like, what the hell's going on? If we
Okay.
have more than three, is when I start suspecting something might be going on.
Right.
Um, And then that's coupled with, you feel weird. You're tired for no reason. You're not sleeping. You're waking up at weird hours in the middle of the night. You're having nightmares.
Nicole, you need to watch this. If you're not watching, you have to watch this. No, I know quite a few people that does describe them. I
And I
will
mean,
say.
some people do naturally wake up in the middle of the night. Some people have what they
No,
call biphasic sleep.
I'm not talking about that.
But other people like wake up at specific hours or between like specific hours in the middle of the night, or they constantly have nightmares like the entire time they're sleeping. Those can be indicators from your spirit team or from the person who's doing work that they're doing work on you. Now, I'm a believer that most of the time people are aware when something's not right on a spiritual level. Like you have just this sense that something's wrong, and that's generally if you start feeling like you're in a funk, cleanse.
Okay.
It never hurts to do a spiritual cleanse.
Now, okay, for a lot of people out there, and by the way, for your information, I'm not just sitting here playing on my phone. I'm actually posting tonight to the shop's website. I try to leave the tornado damage updates up there as long as possible. So people are like, oh, that's what's going on. But my question is, let's say you have no experience with this stuff. You're not in this stuff at all. Okay.
I see a
What's
little
what's the number one thing you look for? Number one, out of everything else that beats it all out. I know it's going to sound redundant, but what is one thing that you're just like, no, that's all wrong.
like as far as when somebody thinks that something's going on, or like they just say something and be like, "You're
Yes.
cursed." Um, it's kind of complicated to diagnose, uh, but typically when somebody comes to you and be like, "I don't know what's going on, and my entire life is falling apart,"
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That. Yeah.
or that like that's the big red flag, like somebody's just running across the field with a whole flag.
Okay. All
It's
right.
like every aspect of your life is failing, and it's like I my boyfriend cheated on me. They repossessed my car.
Yeah.
My grandma died. Like, and this all happens within the same week or month. Like, suspicious.
Yeah. Okay. So basically, the makings of a country song. Got it.
Yep.
All right. And then the next thing is, and see, that's what I keep getting a lot. I keep getting a lot of the people coming in, well, before the shop closed with tornado, and we're going to talk about that later. A lot of people coming in, they have no clue. There is, I mean, they might have a couple crystals somewhere, but they're like, okay, what the hell is going on?
Oh yeah.
So I guess, and they're not around anybody that can really believe in them or guide them, or they can't, I'm fortunate. I've got Antoinette, I've got Nicole, I've got multiple people that I can be like, okay, guys, this seems weird. I just need a little reassurance.
Oh
I,
yeah.
I don't know if I'm crazy or what, but these people that are coming in, they don't have that. How do you suggest they get into a very simple, so as they can assuage their, I might be crazy, I might not be. What's something simple that they can do to reverse or break? Actually, reverse, break, and keep people from doing it to them again.
Okay.
I know, right? I made it sound so simple and easy, and now you're like, oh my God, my brain's crying. Sorry.
So easiest way to reverse spell work is to get a brooch or a locket that has a mirror.
Okay.
Mirrors will reverse negative energy back where it came from.
Okay.
Super easy. You can put you can get lockets that have the little glass fronts, replace that with a little piece of mirror.
Okay.
You can get like, the silver medallion earrings that have like the reflective face, those work. Um, Evil eye pendants, earrings, bracelets, things like that.
Okay.
Super easy, really easy to get a hold of. As far
I
as
sell them in my shop, actually. That's funny.
Mhm.
Well, not the mirror stuff. I keep looking for it, and you're right. I may just have to make it myself. Should I put any signs or sigils on the back, anything like that?
um, you can do like, what is it? It's the passage of Ruth from the Bible, which shows truth.
Okay.
It's
Now,
to have answers revealed, so it'll if somebody's hitting it, you should be informed. You can do something like that. You can do protection symbols, pentagrams, the algae's rune, ohm.
what I really like to do is the circle with the cross through the
Mhm.
close symbol.
Yep,
I love to do that. I do it on all my pendulum boards and everything. That way, stuff can't actually use it as a gateway unless you're calling it.
yep. You can also put protection oil on it, like
Sweet.
anoint it with protection oil.
Okay. What kind of protection oil do you recommend? I've got a
I
shit ton of essential. Whoopsie! I got a bleep ton of essential oils at my shop. I'm praying the
I
power's still on and they're still good. So anyway,
I have to preface this by saying I'm a slightly petty person.
yeah, yeah,
So I really like a fiery wall of protection oil.
okay.
So it not only protects you but gives them a little bit of spice back.
Hmm.
Be like back off.
Well,
Um,
actually, what I would prefer is I would prefer to have something that just reversed and basically times it by about 10. That way, when they try and get you, bam, and their life comes apart because it's like, just don't try it anymore. Because,
brew.
Rue.
Brew.
Okay.
Which book was that? It's Rue Agrimony.
Got the herb. I don't have the essential oil.
You can boil it, make a tea, and anoint it that way.
Perfect. Okay.
So agrimony banishes negativity. Hyssop. If you can do, I'd probably do Hyssop and Rue, because Rue returns to sender and removes negative energy. And Hyssop's kind of your bless me, curse you kind of thing. So that's going to be your retaliative.
I will tell you, it's very interesting. I ended up getting a variety pack of incense from my supplier, and it was titled something else, Aruda or something like that.
Rudo.
It
Yep.
was Rue incense. And
Mhm.
I lit it up because I was just curious. I wanted to know what it smelled like before I started selling it and everything. Holy crap. It kicked everything in my house. I'm like, yes. So
Oh, yeah.
now I kind of go over the doorways and stuff when anybody's coming over. It's like,
Oh, yeah. I buy Rue almost in bulk at this point.
yeah, it's harder to
Like,
find.
it is. So when I can find it, I buy as much as I can. Um,
I originally started pulling it in for one specific client. He was like, look, I can't find it anywhere else. I'm like, let me go look.
mhm.
I dug and I dug and I dug until I found it.
No, weird recommendation. If you're looking for Rue
Mm-hmm.
and you happen to live in a community with a large Hispanic population,
Yeah.
they typically grow Rue in their front yard.
Oh, wow.
Um, because if they do Bruhidia or
Okay.
Curatismo, anything like that, they probably do a lot of spiritual cleansings. So
Oh.
they just grow it because it's easier. It's hard to find, so they just grow them. They also make very pretty bushes.
Hmm. Good to know. Thank you.
Um,
I
but
wish I
those
didn't have a black thumb.
for breaking curses, honestly, mint and rosemary body wash.
Really?
They sell all kinds of bath products, shampoo, body wash. One of my favorites. Super
Okay.
easy to get your hands on, and take a shower with intention. Scrub yourself head to toe.
Okay.
Step out, and then do like a shielding. So you're going to do like an energy work to give yourself some additional protection after you're done, and that'll break. I haven't found anything that it won't break, to be honest. And everybody
Really?
looks at me weird when I'm like, just go take a shower with rosemary mint body wash. And they're like, what do you mean? It's like, I'm a folk practitioner. Do you want me to
Right.
go send you to do a 4-hour cleansing ritual, or you're going to go take a shower?
Oh, God. No, because I had I had one lady. She practiced, what was it? I think she practiced a form of voodoo, and she told me, she was like, she's not a big one to BS, but she's like, okay, look, yeah, you got some work going. Here's what you do: you take some stuff, you graveyard dirt, everything else, you get in the bath, take a bath. It's
Mm,
nasty, but it's what you need to do. Needless to say, I couldn't remember her instructions, so I didn't do it. But
yeah, and it varies depending on like if they're in hoodoo, voodoo, Haitian voodoo, Creole voodoo. Different houses have different recipes too. So
Mhm.
like unless you get back in contact with her, there's very little way to know because everybody does things different.
Well, she got really weird. She was dealing with Antoinette, and she things got really strange really quickly,
Hmm,
and so we both just kind of backed off. Just, that's. Have you ever just been around anybody, a practitioner, anything, and all of a sudden things just get really weird? There's that odd energy going on, and it's just kind of like,
mhm. Yep, I've had the that there's something about you, and I don't know if it's who you're working with that don't like me, you don't like me, like what it is, but something ain't right.
yeah, there was just something off. And I was just
Mhm.
like, okay, well, you're cool and all. And if we ever want to, contact each other again, maybe, but something's weird. It's just
Mhm.
weirdness. So, and she wasn't the type of person that I felt comfortable being upfront and asking.
Fair.
I just didn't get the feeling it would go well.
Yeah, some people do not take confrontation very well.
And I don't even really view this as confrontation. I just view it as, okay, like if there was a weird energy between you and I'd be like, hey, dude, what's up? It's getting weird. Weirdness is ensuing. Is everything okay on your end? Is everything okay with me? What's going on?
Yeah, and I think that for me that's totally normal to be like, hey, what's going on? Like,
you know, um, Most people, though, when I do ask that, they're like, nothing, nothing's going on.
yeah, that's the immediate response is everybody just clams up and be like,
Why would you think anything's going on? What's
but
going on with
sometimes it's
you?
just
I'm
like,
like,
depending on what it is, sometimes it's just our brain being like, do they like me? Or they have to have upset them. They're not talking to me.
and I kind of go through the steps with that. Um, and it's like, no, 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 no. And especially like if the person has a money making opportunity coming up and all of a sudden things get weird, I'm like, something's weird.
Hmm.
Definitely weirdness because you just ghosted me on a money making opportunity and I know you need the cash. So, yeah. Um, okay. So, and you know me, I'm always more a bit about a pinch of prevention is worth a pound of cure.
Hmm.
How do you okay, no matter who you are, spiritual freelancer, Christian, witch, just a person who doesn't really believe in all this, but may be at risk. Um, and with all the newbies out there, all the ones that watch TikTok or Instagram and decide they want to hex people for fun, I don't understand why, but all the ones that do, there's a lot more people in jeopardy. So, and including attacks through technology.
Hmm.
What do you think would be the best? I know this is a difficult question. What do you think would be the best way to do an all around protection? To kind of have that stuff bounce off you. Just be like, return to sender, goodbye.
Depends on the tradition. So Christians, there are psalms that you can read in the morning against your enemies, which return to senders. It's pretty much a return to sender spell.
Okay.
So if you're comfortable working through Christianity, do that. Look at the Psalms. If you find an older Bible that has the Psalms in them, they even tell you what the Psalm is for. They break it out.
Wow.
Like I love the like. that was one of my favorite things as a folk practitioner is like there was such a huge secrecy about like, you need to do this psalms for this and this and this. And then I found out that the older Bibles just told you. And I was like, you having love issues? Read this psalm.
People be hexing you. Don't worry, read this one because we all know it's going to happen. There you go. Wow.
Yep. That's it's spicy, I warn you, but it's 109.
109.
Psalms 109. It is spicy, but it does work.
Hey, as long as it works, who cares, man? Because yeah, this whole hexing thing has just gotten. I think I brought this up a few shows ago, but this whole hexing and cursing thing and just doing bad things to people supernaturally and metaphysically, it's really spiked.
It's a weird combination of the ease of access of information of just as a whole, but also in the age of the internet.
Yeah.
Do you know how easy it is to hex somebody? You have social media.
Mhm.
I have your full name, your date of birth, and your picture.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. Okay. Yeah.
If you're metaphysically inclined and you posted your birth chart somewhere,
No.
I now have, even if I didn't have a picture, I have your birth date, your full name, the exact time and place you were born, and that is like a homing beacon. Don't ever post your birth chart online.
No, I
Send it to
don't.
somebody in private. Um, I know some practitioners that if they have a social media presence, they never post a picture of themselves. They use a craft name or a pseudonym,
Yeah.
and they take it that seriously. Um,
Well, I'm beginning to see why. I always thought I was like, oh, well, that's probably overkill, but okay. I'm beginning to see why.
yeah, and the other thing is,
Becca, well, I sent you my birth chart, Alicia. Oh God, Becca, no, I would never do anything like this ever, ever, ever. No, 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 no. The only working I would do is if somebody tried to hex me personally, my kid, my family. I mean, honestly, with the business stuff, I know there's some stuff going on, and all I would do is kind of a return to sender. That's
yeah,
about it, you know. Don't hex me, please. I know I would never hex you. Seriously.
it is against my ethics code to hex people for no reason.
I just, I don't even take it that far to ethics code. It makes no sense to me.
Yep.
Why not do
I,
manifestation work to make my and my loved one's life better?
there are so many other things that you could do instead, and that's one of the things I wanted to talk about anyways, is that 9 times out of 10, somebody probably didn't actively hex you. You
Okay.
probably got, like, the evil eye, or you spoke something about yourself into existence.
Ooh, I like that. Okay, expound more on those 2 points: the evil eye and speaking into existence yourself.
So, speaking into existence, you're essentially self-manifesting. So when you be like, "I'm just really bad at this, I don't know why they keep me at work," or, that down talk where you're
Yeah.
like, I don't like the way that I look or things like that, I'll never make enough money to do this. All of those have the potential to manifest, just like everything else you do in life.
Right.
And this can also be other people speaking things onto you. One of my favorite examples of this, and I'm sure somebody will have had this happen to you. I hope your child is just like you. That's a
I
curse.
actually
That
I hope
that is
my
a
kid is just
potential
like
to be
me
a
too.
curse.
I'm
Well,
awesome.
for some people it's a blessing, for other people it's a curse, and it's one of those where it's like, and think about it, most of the time that kid's a little mini you, but somebody's mom or auntie spoke that into existence on you.
Hey baby. God, what is it? I forget who said it to me. I think it was my mom. But then again, she also has to deal with him now.
Oh yeah, it can definitely, there's so many
Backfire.
things that can be a blessing and a curse at the same time, depending on how you look at it.
Hi, Christina.
and it gets left up to the universe to decide.
My
Um,
mom said that to me, and she also said it was a curse. Wow, Becca.
yeah, and then the other side. So we had speaking things into existence, and then the evil eye. So the evil eye is an unconscious thing that people do out of envy, jealousy, and spite.
Okay.
Now this can be that that mean look that people give you when they're just like that with some intention behind it can be enough to mess up your day, and in
This,
some cases festers.
and I will say that, but this is also why I am a firm believer that God made me female. Do you know why?
Why?
So I couldn't pull out my wang and shake it at him.
There's an actually there's a worse one. So in the medieval Welsh, there was a way to curse a man that involved whipping out your chest
Oh,
and screaming profanities at a man of power, and it was
are
considered one of the most offensive curses you could do in Wales.
you kidding me? If I whipped
No,
out my
no,
chest for most guys here, they'd be like throwing money at me.
it's
Jesus.
there's a lady named Mara Starring. She wrote a couple books on Welsh witchcraft, and she included that in there. And
Okay.
I was on the floor laughing because I watched it on her one of her videos, and I was like, no, no. And then I started looking into it. I was like, oh, she's not wrong. Oh, so it's been one of my favorite little things. Like, you really want to curse somebody? Pop one out, maybe. I mean, and
Christina.
that's
That was said about my daughter, and she's nothing like me. Lols, Christina, ha ha ha, twice. And then Becca, Diogenes coded.
the but you can have so the unknowing ill intent and spite of people in your life that are jealous of you can really hit you. And normally, when I do cleansings on myself, that's what I normally see. Is I'm seeing like in an egg cleansing those spider webs of people having jealousy and envy over you,
Okay.
um, and that's one of the most common forms of negativity that people get sent. And you don't have to be a practitioner to do that. People just get jealous of you, and then they stew on it, and then they're subconsciously sending this energy to you. Now that's the kind of thing where I'm not generally going to do like return this times 10 or anything. I'm just going to banish it or send it back and be like, I don't want it, it's yours, keep it.
And see, one thing, I mean, yes, especially early romance, I was very jealous. I am one of those people that's like, no, this is mine. Go away, you know. But as far as jealousy toward another person, toward their success and accomplishments, yes, I'll get a little bit jealous, but I always go with what my dad told me. Ever since I was little, he always said, no, honey, anytime you are jealous of another person, all that is it's telling you what you want. So you have to go after it.
Yeah. Well, there's a difference between setting that goal for yourself and being like, I like what this person's accomplished and I need to get
Christina,
there,
wow.
versus the I despise this person for being something that I don't think I can be. It's the two different mindsets.
Hmm. So,
And
how would you suggest pulling yourself out of that? I despise this person for being what I don't think I can be. I mean, for me, I think that comes a
it's a lot
lot
of shadow work.
from a lack of faith in themselves.
Yeah, it's self-confidence and shadow work. You need to do some healing work on yourself to get out of that like martyr victim mentality kind of thing where like you
Yeah.
don't have that view of yourself. And then
Yeah.
um and then you
Like, I love that tattoo on your arm. I think it's absolutely beautiful. I would love to have one for myself. I might be a little bit jealous over it because I know I will never go get a tattoo because I don't have that kind of commitment level. Okay. But,
nothing wrong with that.
I can appreciate it. And I guess do you have any advice for people who have that mindset and who are dumping this on other people? You know?
Ooh.
How can they curtail that? How can they start to curtail it even just a little bit? Because jealousy is really, it's showing you what you want really, really badly.
I think just having that honest conversation with yourself on, okay, the
Christina,
why
right?
am I feeling this way?
Yeah.
Like, and like kind of sitting there and decoding on like, why do I feel this way about this person?
Mhm.
And it's kind of a hard thing to do, to be honest, but there's some really good shadow work prompts dealing with jealousy and anger on other people, and I would look into those.
But I will say, having the tough conversations with yourself is a lot better than the alternative.
Yeah, yeah. We should all strive to be the best version of ourselves we can be.
Because I can tell you right now, you sit there and you stew on it. There was something a couple of years ago that I really wanted, and I knew I was in no position to have it. Didn't stop me from
Yeah.
wanting it with a fiery, burning passion. And I would look at all of the women that had it, and I would be very hurt and very jealous and very angry.
Hmm.
And I finally sat myself down and I was like, all right, look, bleep, you gotta get your shit together. you know?
Yeah.
And I looked at what I really wanted, and I knew, and I'm still not in a it's a second kid. I wanted a second child. But there was no way financially, effort wise, anything that I could do that.
Yeah.
I couldn't even adopt one. There's just no way. The poor kid would just not be, I mean,
It wasn't sustainable on any level.
no. So practically. Now, if I'd just gone with my heart, yeah, I'd already have popped out three by now. But but I had to have a very long talk with myself because it got so bad. I was like, God, I wish I had.
Hmm.
And my husband's like, Are you okay? I'm like, No, I'm not. So, yeah, no. But at the same time, I had to sit myself down because that's not fair to them.
Yeah.
It's not their fault, you know?
And I think that's why a lot of us get into witchcraft in general is that we're seeking to control things whether or out of our control or bring some order to the chaos in our life.
Mhm.
And I think that's a big draw for people in this type of path where we're we're all in the same storm, but we're all in different boats.
I know, right?
And we're trying to get the best boat we can.
I think I'm on a boat made of paper and the wax is melting. I know I shouldn't have used the dollar store wax.
Not the dollar store candles.
And now candles. That brings me to another one. You hear a lot, you see it on Sabrina Teenage Witch, all that fun stuff. Um, what about reversal candles?
Yes.
Now, traditionally, every time I see them, they're either red and black or black and white.
Yep.
What are your thoughts on those? And Christina, haha, okay. And then, hi, Judy. Good evening to you too. Thanks for joining in. And then, how would you make your own? What goes into them? How do you use them? I mean, in some ways, in some of them, I see them in 7 day. I always thought they had to
Oh
be
yeah.
out of the glass so you
Not
could flip them.
necessarily. Um,
Okay.
it kind of depends on how you want to do them.
Okay.
So, do you need them? No. Are they useful for people that want to be lazy? Absolutely. Um, you can do a reversal with flip over a regular white candle or a black candle,
Okay.
and then anoint it with your herbs and oils, and then for reversals, I rub away from myself. You're wanting to remove something from you. Um,
So toward the wick or away from it, or toward the burning end or away from it.
so reversal, if I'm using a single candle, I am going to flip the candle upside down, and then I'm going to carve a wick out of the bottom,
Okay.
and then I'm going to cut off, if it's got a nub, cut off the nub so it lays flat.
Okay.
And then the new wick on the top, I'm going to anoint towards the top.
Okay.
Or if you're doing it upright, towards the bottom of the candle. If that makes sense. You reverse it. If you're reversing the spell, reverse the whole thing. Does that make sense?
Okay.
So,
So I'd flip this upside down,
yep.
smash the glass.
So in those, no.
Okay. What do I do?
Where am I? Do I have a candle?
Okay.
Okay. Pretend this is my candle.
Okay.
So we're going to cut the nub off,
Okay.
flip it upside down,
Okay.
and we're going to dig our wick out of the bottom.
Okay.
That's the new top of the candle. And then annoy it from here down.
Okay. Now, with these, what do I do? 7 days.
Those, if you're buying one like that, you can do. I would recommend using a. Get the half and half if you're using a glass one. It'll be easier if you don't have the ones you can remove the candle from.
Okay.
Otherwise, you can draw your arrows on the candle,
Okay.
like an Uno reverse,
Okay.
and do it that way. But to make it easier, I would just use, if you're using a 7-day candle, get the half and half.
Okay. If you don't have access to the half and half and you just have one color, let's say you just get a white candle.
White or black.
Okay. What do you do?
I'm going to anoint that with, for me, it's going to be like your reversal herbs, so like rue, agrimony, acidifa, things to remove negativity.
Okay. If you don't have the oils, what do you do?
If you don't have the oils,
I know. You're just like, why? Because.
no, so take the candle. If you have a burning safe bowl, put it in or melt the top of the candle and then affix it to the bottom of the bowl. So you're going to fix the candle to the bowl on the inside. Fill
Okay,
it
but it's still
halfway up
going to
with
be
water.
upright, right?
Yeah, still being upright. Fill it halfway with water. Bless the water, use holy water, whatever your preference is, moon water. Um, if you don't have herbs and oil, grab some kitchen salt.
Okay.
Sea salt's preferable, but use what you got on hand. And then you are going to light the candle. It's going to extinguish when it hits that water level. So as it's burning down, you're going to say from fire to ember, from ember to ash. As this flame withers, so does this curse.
Okay. And that's white 7-day, stick it in a bowl of water.
Well, that's regular candle. If you're doing 7-day, 7-day, I just let it burn all the way down. Or you can extinguish it yourself and throw it away. That's probably the easiest way to do is to snuff out the spell.
Okay. And if you don't have any oils or anything like that, it's still the same chant?
Yep. Just
Okay.
put this is one of those where as long as your intention's firm on it, you're still gonna get results.
Okay.
Um a lot of people like to make curse breaking and hexing and things seem super complicated, and sometimes it can be. I won't lie. Some people do really, really good work,
Yes.
and it becomes a problem. A 7-day candle or the big, big pillars like the church candles.
Mm-hmm.
Um, somebody was asking about that.
What is a 7-day candle?
It burns for, it's
What?
a large candle that burns for 7 days. They're typically used for longer workings. So for me, I use them in so the premise is the longer it takes a candle to finish the spell, the stronger the spell's going to be. So the longer you work something, the more oomph you're putting into it, the more time you're putting into it, the better the result. But it doesn't work as fast.
Okay.
Um, 7-day candles are generally done for devotionals. Um, you see this with your novenas. I use them for healing spells, court spells. A lot of your long-term things. My like regular protection spells that I do, I'll burn a 7-day candle for. When I'm recharging spells, things like that I'm trying to maintain.
Okay. I do a lot of work with the 7 days. I like them a lot.
Mhm.
Becca X. Hey, Alicia, do you guys make green man candles at the shop? Actually, I'm getting a mold in to make them, so
Mm.
good going.
Ooh, okay. Uh,
I want to do some in resin and some for candles.
nice.
Did I
Uh,
mention that we're starting to play around with resin and I'm pouring stone bits in there? I'm very happy. Christina Maldonado. Cool. Thank you, Christina.
mhm.
Okay, so candle work is pretty effective.
Mhm.
Mirrors. And I know last time you mentioned getting a compact mirror, writing my enemies in it, and enclosing it and putting it on your sacred space.
Yep.
Okay. Now, is there anything that you should put in there in that compact to really make it miserable for anybody doing any work on you?
Hot foot.
Okay. If they don't have access to hot foot, what do you recommend? Basically, I want you to go all the way back to the basics.
Chili powder, garlic, black pepper, um, anything that smells awful
Asafoetida?
that you got in your kitchen. Yeah. Mhm.
Okay.
If it smells funky, it's gonna cause them some issues. You got cactuses, throw a couple cactus spines in there. You got rose thorns, something like that. Anything. That's the thing about folk magic is it's a tradition of practicality. If something irritates you by touching it, what is it gonna do magically? It's gonna irritate somebody.
So poison ivy, poison oak,
Mhm.
those nettly thorn bushes.
Yep.
Okay.
Rose thorns. What are they? Locust trees, black hawthorns. They have
Okay.
these big long spines on them.
Good lord.
Um, witches' burrs, which are sweet gumballs. That's like a giant spiky gumball.
Okay. Wait, I think I have some of those growing in my yard. Christina Maldonado. Cool. Christina, this is still new to me and I have so many questions. Well, fire away, Christina. Nico is definitely the dude to be on to answer the questions.
I am practically an encyclopedia of magic. I won't say that I'm entirely one, but I probably have an answer. There's a few traditions that I don't because they're closed and I'm not in them.
Becca X. That's amazing. Christina. Wow. Christina. Okay. So what you're telling me is that if I don't get everything out of you on these programs that I have lined up, I can actually grab your spirit and cause you to tell me everything for the viewers and then let you go to the beyond. Yes? Okay, cool.
I
Sounds
mean, you did have a dream about me teaching you.
actually we were having a discussion. That was the thing. We were having a long discussion
Yeah,
about it. And it wasn't really either of us teaching each other. We were just
just
discussing
talking
it.
about.
Yeah, I was telling you some of my dad's theories. It was the weirdest thing. I woke up and I was all energized and I was like, all right, this is great. And I'm like, oh my God.
All
So
right,
yeah,
and like always keep a journal next to your bed
I'm not the journal
because
type.
uh, see, I'm one of those people where like if I have a dream about something, it's generally kind of important.
Mhm. But you also realize I woke up, I did some writing, and then I messaged you up. I was like, hey, dude,
Yeah.
so you want to do just talk on animism? You're like, Jesus Christ,
How do you
what the
know?
hell?
How do you
I
know if
know
Wicca is
people.
right for you? I think this might be a slightly controversial opinion. So I want to preface this by saying I am not Wiccan. Uh, I think that Wicca is a fantastic religion, and that a lot of people will, or that's the first step for a lot of people to get into spirituality, and that it's not always everybody's home. So if you don't feel comfortable in Wicca, look at other traditions. But I
Keep
think it's a great starting place.
Keep in mind, Wicca has been the umbrella term for everything from hoodoo to voodoo to Santeria to folk magic, all of it. It's a very broad term for a lot of people. So Wicca is its own tradition, its own
Mm,
thing. And Wicca might be related to a lot of this stuff, but Wicca's more of a gateway.
mm. It has a lot of good foundations. And
Mhm.
I know people that that is their first and only tradition, and they
Christina,
love it.
cool. Go ahead. Keep going.
Getting back on track. So we're talking about herbs for protections, um, and for return to senders.
Mhm.
Basil.
Okay.
Everybody's got basil in their kitchen. Basil,
Sure.
garlic. If you need to get nasty with somebody, mustard powder and poppy seeds from the grocery store.
Poppy
Mustard
seed.
seed, yeah, poppy seed causes confusion,
Okay. And mustard seed.
and mustard seed causes discord and strife in somebody's life. So it makes that extra spice of everything's going wrong and I don't know why.
Hmm.
Mustard seed.
Yeah. Nah, I wonder if that's what's been used lately. Anyway, another question. How do you how do you keep people from doing work on you or anybody else, like a binding? How would you just stop them from doing this petty, stupid crap?
There's a couple ways. So the first one is going to sound extremely simple, and you're probably all going to hate me for it. No is the most powerful spell, shield, anything you can do.
Mhm.
So the reason that these things work is partially due to fear mongering and psychosomatics.
Mhm.
So if I tell you that I put a curse on you, you're going, if even if I do absolutely nothing,
Yeah.
you are then going to curse yourself under the assumption that I have done it. You're going to do the work for me. Does
Mhm.
that make sense?
It does, but if you don't know anything's been done,
Yes.
you do
In
not
that case,
know.
if somebody is working unseen,
Yeah.
there's a lot of diagnostics you can do through divinations. You can get a reading. There's certain cards that show up for, there's somebody with bad intentions. There's a big chaos coming, the tower card, devil card, things like that, where like they're kind of red flags.
Okay.
Um, Same thing in runes.
That
Now,
okay. Is there a holy crap, you're cursed tarot card and rune and such?
uh,
I gotta know.
so if you're doing a 3 card pull and you get the Ten of Swords, the Devil card, and the Tower, I'd say you're probably cursed.
Either that or your life.
Yeah, like something's going
Please,
to.
please, 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 please.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
dude.
You get
I
the 3 worst cards in the entire deck, maybe.
uh, no, I've had those show up for different people, and I'm just like, okay, I don't know what's going on here, but it's time for you to take a vacation, do a
Yeah, it's time.
cleansing, and get
Mhm.
out of here for a while.
When in doubt, cleanse it out. Even if you are entertaining the possibility that you might be cursed, it's worth doing a spiritual cleansing on you.
Right.
Like
And
it never hurts.
basically shower yourself off with the herbs
Mhm.
that you mentioned or the body wash. Do you recommend cleansing your house, your home?
Yes. That's actually so when I do cleansing for people, the first thing that I request before we cleanse the person, you're gonna clean your house from baseboards to ceiling.
Nico, you're evil.
But
Evil.
think about it. So if you
Evil.
have a dark, dingy little cluster in your house and you've done all of this cleansing, where's it gonna hide? In
I
that
know.
little closet you never clean?
No, believe me, I know. I know I had some stuff happening, and Yamaya came to me, and she's like, "You need to clean up," and I'm like, Psh, "What?" She's like,
Yeah, yeah.
I don't work with deity. She's like, "You need to clean up." I want to start my own spiritual journey, but I have some mental health issues to work through. Is that something I should work on before any kind of practice? Christina Maldonado. No, it is not. But go ahead.
My 2 cents on that. So there are plenty of practitioners that have mental health issues. There's nothing wrong with that. There are
Oh,
plenty of sane people who practice witchcraft as well. My only stipulation is if you are actively in psychosis, do not practice. Get that under control because witchcraft, while you're in psychosis, can deepen that and can cause more issues than good at that point.
And also, if
So
you start doing spells and stuff like that, things are going to get really hairy really quickly.
yeah, so I recommend like always try to get your mental health under like as much control as possible because the broken pot can't hold water. Does that make sense? You want to be as healed and whole as you can, and while we may go through life with medical problems and mental health issues, if you're doing it as balanced as possible, you're gonna get better results. If that makes sense.
Yeah. Ooh, Antoinette. Hey, Antoinette. How's the Reiki sessions going? This girl's always busy. Christina. Totally. Okay, awesome. Now, I will ask, since there is such a plague of mental health issues, or maybe it's all just coming to the forefront, and there is a lot of prescription drug use as well as recreational that can sometimes be misdiagnosed and mistaken. Um, what are your thoughts on that combined with deity work, spell work, things like that? How do you mitigate any bad things from coming from it? Because you can't just say don't do it. Okay, that's like telling kids about abstinence. Yeah,
Mhm.
okay. We're going to tell teenagers to
Um,
be abstinent. Yeah, okay. We're going to tell people who are having life problems and real problems never to mess with anything metaphysical. These things are not going to happen. So, how to mitigate the issues, the disasters that will follow?
with people having mental health issues and doing witchcraft, or from people like doing witchcraft.
You know what? All of it. Let's just start there, Becca. I also feel you're pretty vulnerable to possession if you're in psychosis. Oh yeah,
True,
that
true.
too.
Mhm. But
um,
that's also a really hard thing to deal with when you're in psychosis,
hmm,
because if you are in psychosis, it's really hard to distinguish reality from
yeah,
everything else, and you always want to work on the health side of things before you look at the spiritual side.
yeah.
Uh, and
Christina, that's what I was also wondering. Okay.
mm, so going with mental health and doing witchcraft. So if I haven't said this before, hi, I have major depressive disorder and um, PTSD, and I'm a witch. You can have mental health disorders and practice witchcraft. Does this mean that, for me, if I get in a depressive episode, it changes how I practice? I don't necessarily have the energy all of the time to be doing, every full moon ritual, things like that. Things happen, it's part of life. Um, you have to have grace. So be compassionate and patient with yourself. You know, do the best you can. Um, everybody's got a different struggle going on with things like that. You never know who's got what's going on. Um, deities totally understand. We're human, we have flaws, so many things going on. And like, if you forget to do a devotional act or things like that, you can always apologize, you can always make it up. Um, as far as, let's see, I have a personality disorder,
Hold on,
practice.
Becca. I have a personality disorder, and I practice as much as I can on my good days. Shadow work is where I will likely find most of the benefit while practicing. Yeah, no, I would say yeah, but there's other stuff too. Um,
Hmm.
I'm big on working with spirit guides and having them help you along and things like that.
Oh, yeah.
And also ancestors and good spirits. I will tell you guys it does work. I swear.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
good spirits, not the bad ones. The bad ones are, whatever.
I absolutely support, use metaphysics and spirituality as a supplement to your mental health care. I'm not saying it should replace your mental health care.
Yeah.
Please, if you were prescribed medications, take them. There was a huge thing for a while where people were saying that if you were a practitioner and you were on any kind of medications for psychiatric conditions, to stop them because they're stopping your witchcraft. No, bad. That's a terrible idea. Just the withdrawals alone is a terrible idea. I just want to be safe when working with spells and worshiping. My recommendation is
Christina. By the way, the reason why I actually read the question is sometimes people will not download the video or the app to see the video.
oh
So,
right, there's an audio stream part. True, true.
yeah, Christina, I just want to be safe when working with spells and worshiping. Yeah, being
Protection
safe.
first. Honestly, protection first.
Wow, man, I need more coffee because so many jokes right there. Okay, keep going,
I'm
man.
a walking innuendo. You should know
Keep
this by
keep going.
now.
Because sometimes, Nico, I feel bad for you because you get so uncomfortable. But you gotta realize, okay, you're right around the same age as Steven, my younger stepbrother. Okay, he's a Leo monkey and you're an Aries monkey. Um, that poor kid, that poor kid. Although I shouldn't say poor kid, he traumatized me, man. Some of the stuff he came back from public school with, I was like, how could you? You are like 12. Oh my god. He's like, ha, ha. Actually, it started to become a game between him and Tommy for a while. Who could freak out Alicia the worst?
Beautiful.
Yeah, yeah. But I love them both. I do, I do. Steven's still my favorite though. So yeah, you poor man, you poor man. Oh well, you at your own risk, right? But no, I definitely don't say throw away your psych meds in order to do witchcraft. That's really asking for some problems, okay? And
Oh yeah.
no, recreational drug use does not supplement prescription drugs in witchcraft. For the
No,
love of
no.
God.
Now, if you're looking at wanting to add like herbal remedies to your
Mhm.
lineup, talk to your doctor. Find out because there are interactions.
Yes.
Because if you're on prescription antidepressants, you should not take St. John's wort. It will
Christina.
do horrible things.
Christina. Oh no. Ha ha ha. Mm-hmm. Now I've heard a lot of different stuff for anxiety and all that different stuff.
Mm,
What
there's
are
a lot of options.
what are your thoughts on anxiety being almost a metaphysical warning symptom?
And some people, yes. Some people are just so hyper vigilant because of their anxiety that their like extra sensory perceptions just pick up on absolutely everything. So the people with anxiety sometimes worry about things so much and so incessantly that they notice the smallest change in things, which can be a gift and a curse.
Hmm.
You can tell when somebody's like pulling their energy away a little bit, or you know that they're just not acting the same, and then sometimes it is absolutely in your head, and anxiety is that monster. Other times there's some truth in it, and
If you do have somebody who is anxiety almost seems to be their warning system, which unfortunate as that is, how do you suggest that they manage that? Maybe tamp it down so as they can not have that going on without herbs or drugs or anything like that, because it's not truly something you need a drug for. If it's that, you just need to be able to kind of separate it out, maybe block
if
out
it
some of the
was
energy.
spirit or like strictly spiritually, I would almost have them sit down with their guides and
Okay.
be like, "Can we change? If this is you giving me messages and this isn't a comfortable way for me, can we look at other options? Like these are things that I would be available to, like I would like to see feathers on the ground or, show me a specific animal when something's up or, can these are the ones that I would like to see that are less bothersome.
Or like a chime ringing or something, but
Yeah,
just
like
not
make my
there.
ear ring, like, ear ring, feel a little dizzy for a second and we're good. Like something like that, like maybe preferable.
Becca X or Xanax and grapefruit eek. Who touched my fucking drum set? Becca.
There's a lot of interactions with grapefruit. and medications, not just like psych meds. Like it messes with a lot of meds.
Now, the next thing I'm going to ask, because everybody asks this of me, and I tell them just speak to your guides, ask, have an emotional outburst, call out when you really need them. That'll smash a hole through anything and get you to a dialogue like that. But as a witch, as a folk practitioner, how did you get in touch with your guides? How do you recommend people get in touch with their spirit guides?
Mm.
How did they open up that dialogue in your tradition or for you or your experience? Any of those three or all?
So going back to me being a monkey and an Aries, so my mentor had one of the best analogies for this. The universe will keep sending you signs
Oh, yeah.
until you answer, and the signs will keep getting signier until you answer.
Yeah.
Eventually, she's gonna pull out a cast iron skillet and clock you with it.
Yeah.
Me, me. It's generally that point by the time I get to it where it's like there have been so many signs, and then she's just like,
See, now for me, I was actually working at a place. I'm not going to mention the name because this might hurt their reputation. Um, I was working at a place. I'd been working there for a few years, and oh my God, I knew that place. Even if it was dark, I didn't care. I knew everything. I felt completely safe. I started feeling horribly afraid every time I walked down a hallway in the dark. I was terrified, like beyond terrified, frozen with fear. And I'm like, okay, something's wrong. So I called out. My main guide appeared. She appeared over me, and I was okay. Come to find out later, when I started feeling so scared, there was a homeless person who had some mental health issues that had snuck in and was staying there. They found out later. Becca X, that was a stepbrother reference. Lol. Okay, stepbrothers. Got it. Christina, should I also work with a mentor to start practicing when I'm ready?
if you can find one
You got to
and
be
like
really
them,
careful. Got to be careful with the mentors nowadays. I'm sorry, Nico. I'm going to override you on this. I do not know. Most of them I would not give you 2 cents for.
no, I agree with you. There's a lot. So I started practicing about 18 years ago, and it was kind of a different market then. Um,
Mm.
depending on the tradition, maybe. What I would do is go to a metaphysical shop and ask them who's teaching that they recommend, if you like the shop and kind of trust them. Um,
And again, how do you know if you can
generally,
trust the shop? That's another big one, Nico. Nowadays, Becca, Rapunzel, yo ass. Nice. Okay.
mm,
How do you know if you can actually trust the shop that they're for real? Because that's another thing we got cropping up. We got people jumping on the train going, oh, it's a quick buck. These people are
right.
dumb.
Well, I've seen that online too, where people are
Oh, yeah.
selling candles, spells, and they're just sending you a picture of an empty jar candle and be like, I did it, and be like, when I do work, you're getting like the preloaded picture, the during the ritual, and the after ritual, so I can show you the reading of what's going on. But everybody does it differently. Um, but for me, it's, you know, is the store carrying, unless it's a store specifically marketed towards a certain path, like a Botanica is going to be marketed towards your like ATR and like Hispanic traditions. I want to see diversity in a store. I want to see stores carrying a wide range of topics from astral projection, palmistry, I Ching. I want to see as many different subjects on the shelf as possible. Um, I want to see things like, I'll just say, I want to see a shop altar. I want to see that the people that work there are practicing, if that makes sense. Like, I want to be able to visibly see that they have some semblance of what they're talking about. And then I'm going to ask the stupid questions. I'm going to ask you, um, if burning white sage is going to get rid of my dead grandma who lives in her cremation jar.
Really?
I mean, valid, but uh or, describe a problem, I really want to get my ex back. What should I do? How do I get my ex back? I
You
hate that.
don't.
I hate that one so much. Are there ways? Yes. Do I ever recommend it? No.
No.
They're an X for a reason. They should be called Ys.
Okay. Christina, yes, not just for show. Okay. Now,
Mhm.
my question is, but here's another one. If it's a metaphysical shop, a lot of metaphysical shops don't have altars and things like that.
It depends. So most of the ones in my area do.
Okay. Because I have a small sacred space. I don't call it an altar because I don't like the stigma that comes along with it. It's right next to my ofrenda shelf. As the people walk in, they're like, "What the hell?" I feel a little bit bad,
Yeah.
but
But generally there's always like either a personal shrine or like an offering station.
Mhm.
And sometimes especially if the shop does paid work for people,
Yeah.
you'll typically see that. The stores here, some of them have like a shrine up front where customers can come in and leave offerings or messages for whatever god that's associated to. Um, Other stores, one of the botanicas here has, she's Haitian Voodoo, so she has her 21 divisions set up in the store. So she's got different altars to the different spirits around her store because she does work out of her store.
Hey, out of curiosity, I'm still digging around for different practitioners for that spirituality roundtable. Would she be interested in coming on?
I could ask her, but I don't know. She's a busy lady.
I no, and I completely understand, but I figure, give people an idea, and plus it's also going to advertise her shop. That's another thing. But give people an idea, of something that's real versus fake.
Mm,
Because that's been one of the big things. A lot of the elders have stepped away. They will not do anything publicly, period. And the ones that are doing a lot of stuff are I I don't feel responsible putting them in view. You
oh
know what I
yeah,
mean?
I'm very like for me, I'm very particular about who I teach what, if that makes sense. Like,
And this isn't like a class teaching. This is just a discussion to answer some questions.
yeah, yeah, but I mean, like as far as like the elder thing of like, I totally understand why some of the elders step back.
Oh, I never said I didn't understand. I just said it made it difficult.
Oh yeah, it does make it difficult.
Oh, guys,
There's
please. You know.
is there a specific good place for an altar in your home, or is it just personal preference? Uh, I've heard mixed things on this. So I've heard not to have it in your bedroom because the spirits will bother you at all hours of the night.
Mhm.
Um, Personally, I have one in my bedroom, and
Interesting. Why?
so I work with fertility gods. So
Oh yeah,
bedroom fertility gods.
got it.
Um,
Do you
and
find that it
then
causes you any trouble?
I mean I live at a double crossroads anyway.
Yeah, never mind. Okay.
So the spirits move through my house anyways, so there was no hope for that. And then there's we have the house altar in the living room too.
Okay.
But it's
So
personal preference in my opinion.
now that's an interesting idea. Do you believe that there should be a house altar or sacred space?
It depends on your tradition and who you live with. Some people don't have the privilege of being able to openly practice.
Well, for those
Uh,
that do.
for
For
those
those
that
that do.
do, I really think you should if you're comfortable with it. I married somebody else who practices.
Right.
So for me, like that is our communal altar for the house.
Okay.
Like that's where we all leave offerings to the house spirits, to the you know the house gods, and then like we each have our own personal altars
Okay.
because we work with different deities.
Right. By the way, this was in response to Becca X's question: is there a specific good place for an altar in your home, or is it all just personal preference? She goes on to say, mine is in my basement, which has a ton of energy, especially at night. Oh, I bet.
I think really wherever you're comfortable. Mine was upstairs
Mhm.
on my third floor. I have an extra bedroom up there, and for a while it was up there.
Mhm.
And then we had a roommate moved in. I pulled everything back downstairs. They moved out, and I just never moved it back upstairs. I liked where it was. So I mean, it really depends.
I think that is more specific to fire signs being able to have people move in and out. I just,
I
I love my space so much to myself. Okay, I actually just enjoy just chilling out in my own home. It's just me. Well,
I
me and Wub and.
I have that same issue where I absolutely love my peace and quiet, but my husband has the biggest heart for helping people in need, and he's
What's
a
his
Leo.
I was gonna say, what's his sign mix up? What's his Chinese?
Uh, ooh, 96. I don't know what that one is off of the top of my head.
Hold on, let's see. 1996. Go ahead, keep talking.
And so we'll occasionally have a friend that'll be like, "Hey, I need a place to crash," or I'm known for taking in the wayward queer kid. Somebody got disowned, parents fighting, things like that. If you're old enough to be out on your own,
Yeah.
I've probably offered you a place to crash. We've done that a couple times,
Your
and
hubby is a Leo Squeaky. He's a rat.
he's a
You're a rat
rat.
or he's a rat. You're a monkey. That's actually a really good placement.
Huh.
You guys are in the same trio: rat, dragon, monkey.
Nice.
Plus, you're both yang signs, so you guys kind of get each other. You
Mhm.
communicate the same way, and you're both fire signs, so that makes it even better.
Yep.
But God, there must be a lot of energy in that house. That is a lot of energy. And you say you live by a double crossroads?
Yeah, so I have a four-way cross outside of this bedroom here, and then I
Okay.
have an alleyway behind me on the backside of my property. I live on a corner lot, so that's a three-way cross.
Oh, wow. But hey, at least the three-way you can be like, oh no, move that way, move that way. Have you set up a spell yet to just move them on out? Oh
Yep,
gosh,
yep.
Christina Maldonado, ha ha ha. Yup.
It became
Now,
such a problem. I staked the four corners of my yard with uh, railroad spikes just to try to get some peace and quiet, and then they still come through.
so if you just lived on a four-way cross, what would you recommend for getting some peace and freaking quiet?
Regularly doing banishing spells.
Okay, how do you do really simple ones? Really simple ones. Super simple.
Get some. Well, your neighbors might not like this. Get a pot and pan and run through your house, banging pot and pan, and say, if you don't live here and you don't pay rent, you can't stay.
Is there something less noisy that I can do?
Yeah. Sweep out from front door to back door with a broom or vacuum. Sweep everybody out.
It's interesting.
You can bind them to a broom.
How do I do that?
Oh god, what's the chant? It's sweep, sweep, sweep away all negativity. I keep at bay. Bound upon this broom you be, and out the house with the dust you'll see.
Okay. Now I've got a two-level and a basement. Can I just do the main floor? Is that okay?
I would recommend the whole house, but if you just have a problem with a specific floor, yeah,
No, whole house. It's kind of hard to get the dust up the stairs, though.
top to bottom. So top floor, take the dust down to the next floor. You can use a vacuum too, honestly. I love modern appliances for this. Throw a little bit of salt down on your
Yeah.
floors. You can put some herbs in there if you want to extra charge it.
No,
Um,
I make a floor powder. It's
yep, so do I.
it. Okay, what is yours?
I use rosemary, mint, and thyme. in mine.
Interesting. Mine is both practical and spiritual. It's baking soda,
Mm.
baby powder, and then salt.
Ooh.
Generally, I use sea salt.
See, I have vision issues, so I use that on my hardwood floors so I
Right.
can see what I'm sweeping up.
Mm-hmm.
But then I have a floor sprinkle, which is lemongrass, lemon oil, and eucalyptus to
Actually,
like freshen things up.
I should probably start throwing lemongrass in it the way things have been going. But no, I make different kinds, like one for positive, one for calming. I put
Oh yeah.
lavender and stuff in the calming, but I do different ones. But that way, the other thing is this kills bed bugs. It kills anything because they're just like, ah, and I'm like, yes, and it's kid and pet safe.
Oh
I
yeah.
had one lady. She actually, I just went ahead and put my recipe online because so many people were having problems with it.
Mhm.
And one lady, she actually put in diatomaceous earth, and it just killed everything in her carpet. She had a ton of pets. This girl was really neat. I wish you could have met her. I think she's moved out of state now, but it killed all the bugs and it just flushed everything out of her home.
No, you can put that in your vacuum cleaner. If you
Diatomaceous.
add some to the chamber, yeah, add a little bit to the chamber.
Okay, she was
And
putting it in
if
her carpets.
oh yeah, you can put it in carpets, it'll shred whatever. Um, but if you have like a really small issue with like fleas or something,
Mm-hmm.
once they get sucked up in the vacuum, they're gonna sit there on a spin cycle with the diatomaceous earth. It does also you can vacuum wasps with a vacuum too. I don't necessarily recommend it, but it does kill them. I did
Yeah.
find that out.
Well, no, I in my old apartment, they started having bed bug and roach issues. Well, guess what?
Ooh, ooh,
I
that
never
is
had
a
them.
spicy question.
How do you feel about using blood and spells? Sorry if it's a silly question. Whee!
Not
Better
a
be careful
silly
with that.
question. Ooh, so blood magic is great in some ways and absolutely horrifying in others. So if you are anointing certain ritual tools to bind them to yourself, fantastic. I would possibly recommend that if you're doing it in a safe manner and using sterile tools. I do not recommend using love or using blood in love spells, in obsession spells,
Oh, please God,
in
no.
um. So blood is a bond that makes things very, very difficult to remove. I won't say impossible, but very, very hard. Um, there are a lot of methods that use or blood is a binding agent to you directly to something else. Um, so keep that in mind that whenever you use blood in a spell for, you're binding that to yourself, possibly indefinitely. And it can be very difficult to remove if possible at all.
So what you're saying is when they did a C-section on my son and I bled all over him, he's mine forever. Cool. Thank you.
Well, the child came out of you. You're stuck with them anyways. That's such a hard cord to cut between a parent and a child.
I'm just happy. Actually, my guides told me that in my next life, he's going to come back as my kid as well.
Cute.
But so is my dad. I'm like, what did I do? Christina. Ha ha ha. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. All right. And this is another reason why I would be a terrible witch. I can't do any sort of self-harm. So even pricking my finger with a needle is almost impossible for me. My husband and I mix our blood every few years. Becca! Damn, that's hardcore, girly. Yikes.
I mean,
Okay.
if you're fluid bonded and have done all of the proper precautions, like, please do as you
Nico!
please. But I don't condone it.
Oh my
Like,
god, fluid
you're consenting adults, but I can't control everybody.
you do know they've had kids. Fluid bonded? Really? You gotta use that term? All right, here we go. Becca X, slice on the palm and hold hands for like 15 minutes. One, why would you
Nope,
slice your
not
palm?
the
That's so
palm.
miserable to heal up. And two, 15 minutes. God almighty.
So I will say, as somebody who's diabetic, if you absolutely need to do
Christina, ha ha ha.
something along the lines of using blood and magic, go get a diabetic lancet. They're single one-use needles. I won't say they're absolutely painless. You will feel it. But use an alcohol swab. Do it correctly. Don't give yourself an infection. And if you're going to do anything like this, where what that person has said, make sure that you do all of your panels because you do not want to catch any bloodborne illness.
Dude, look, for a class, a high priestess here, and I'm not going to name any names, she had us do a home protection jar, and she had us all poke ourselves with a diabetic lancet, and yes, it did hurt. I had to have somebody else do it for me, and I had to close my eyes. She
I've
stabbed
done
me.
it so many times
I know.
that it like you kind of get used to it.
Becca X, we have 2 kids together. Trust that we're fluid bonded.
No
Becca,
problems there.
that's why you're
Just
awesome. You
just a
got
precaution for everybody else
it.
that please be cautious.
For the
I
love of God,
can't
quit doing
tell you.
blood spells.
I can't tell
Jesus.
you how many times somebody comes to me and is like, "I did a love spell and I used blood, and I don't
Whose
like him
blood?
anymore, and he's stalking me." And be like, "I'll try. Make no guarantees."
You know, hold on. Christina Maldonado. Ouch. And my first question with that is always whose blood? Whose blood did you actually use? Becca X, my elder son is type 1. I know, baby, and I am so sorry. God. That is a lot of strength to bear through that. I mean, you don't really have a choice because you're a mom and you love your baby, but yeah, that
It's a
is rough.
lot.
Nico, are you type 1 or type 2?
Type 2. My mom is type 1, though.
My
There were
mom.
so many people on her side of the family that it was like, it wasn't if I'm going to get it, it was when.
Yeah. No, my mom, she is diabetic and I feel so bad for her. Hold on.
Yeah.
Becca, you develop calluses. No.
You kind of get used to it, to be honest.
Well, I was not used to it and my friend had to stab me and yeah, I tried to run around the table screaming.
Mm-hmm. I mean, like even now, like I'll find a like sweet spot and I'll just be like, "Ooh, I didn't like that. That wasn't great." There's
No.
always still a moment of hesitation too, where it's like just that weird psychological thing of like you know what you have to do, but you don't want to hurt yourself, and you're like, "I'll do it," but like, okay,
No, my mom has told me many times that if I cannot even stand to do that, that I better watch my health and not become diabetic.
be proactive. Hmm.
I told her, I'm like, I can't become diabetic. I love potatoes and pasta.
That's
We're doing
exactly how I became diabetic.
potatoes and pasta?
I worked in an Italian restaurant, so
Yeah.
I brought home pasta, and I ate pasta like 2 meals a day for 3 years straight, and that and breadsticks, and I had a genetic disposition to become diabetic, and it just did me dirty.
Anyway, so yeah, nope. I feel called out. Anyway, Christina Maldonado, the blood spells may not be for me. Lol. Yeah, no. Oh God. I can only imagine if I told Dennis, hey honey, we're gonna cut our palms and mix our blood tonight. He'd be like, yeah, you do that. You have blood. I ain't doing it. Hell no. That's gonna hurt. No. Oh, Christina. Ha ha ha. Yep.
If you think that sounds bad, you should see some of the folk magic rituals involving blood. Ooh, the assault in those.
Okay, but you know what? Now I gotta know. Now I'm curious. Hold on. Becca, when we put the pump or continuous glucose monitor on, he sometimes yelps if it's a tender area. Those cannula are no joke. Oh God.
Yeah, they have like a little plastic tube that goes into And yeah, I've heard that those are painful.
Yeah. I know I looked into it for mom. I thought there was actually a digital monitor that you could get that just stuck onto the skin.
They all have a little needle that sticks under the skin.
Ooch. And then also, I remember with my interview with the acupuncturist lady, Becca, this is for you. She said that acupuncture can help balance blood sugar or lower it depending on what is needed. You might want to look into that for your kid. I know it's a little bit pricey, but once I start making a little bit more at the shop, I'm definitely going to do it with mom. She said she was interested because yeah, no. And yeah, I can't stand to see anybody in that much discomfort. So, but anyway, back to blood magic. Okay, so Nico, some of those spells. Come on, toss them out there. Now everybody's curious.
Have you heard about the Southern Spaghetti?
No, this is going to be
Oh,
disgusting, isn't it?
oh, yeah.
Okay, go ahead. Go on.
So this is typically a love spell done by a woman for a man.
Oh God, it's this one.
Yep.
Is it the one? Yeah. Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
It's
Go ahead.
So you are going to cook your feminine hygiene product in the pasta sauce and remove. And serve the pasta sauce to your partner or somebody you are interested in. Now, I will preface this right here. If they are not consenting for you to do this, this is sexual assault. Period.
Okay, who the hell would do this anyway? And who the hell would consent? All right, here we go. Chrissy, hi Chrissy. Oh no, not Southern spaghetti.
She knows. We've talked about this one before. There's also the panty.
Okay.
It's tea that you pour through your drawers. You serve them tea poured through your.
I actually, a guy I follow, Voodoo Priest Man on Instagram, he's always fun, but he actually had somebody send him a video of a woman taking her panties down. She was menstruating and throwing it in this person's food, mixing it up, and I'm like, oh.
So, there's a clip if you look for it, but the actress Raven Simone, her girlfriend on television admitted to doing the Southern Spaghetti tour.
Ew.
And I was like, girl.
Oh.
Girl.
Oh.
I mean, ooh, she ate it willingly, but like, ooh.
That is hardcore. Who would do that?
And I'm sitting there, it's like real dirty Southern folk magic. There's also one from the Galderbach, which is the Icelandic book of witchcraft and sorcery, where a man.
Hold on, wait, just a second, Becca. Apple is working on getting CGM for their watches, which is non-invasive. That is awesome. Yes,
I think I saw that.
Christina, wow, I really need to get my health in order. Ha ha ha! I can't stick myself with needles. New. Becca, ha ha! I love you, Alicia. This is going to be disgusting. Bring it on. See, well, okay. Chrissy, don't scare the viewers. LOL. It can be very weird. Let's scare the viewers. Anyway, Christina, oh heck no, and then Becca. Or like baking yeast infection into cinnamon rolls. Okay,
I rebuke you right there. I saw that. That was total satire. I hope by everything that is holy that the lady that did that does an entire satire channel, but I know that somebody tried it. Somebody had to have done it. And I'm sitting there like, that is a love binding if I've ever seen one, and I hate absolutely everything about this.
How could that be a love binding? That's a yeast infection. Wouldn't that curse somebody?
It comes from your vagina.
But wouldn't that be like a vagina curse?
It depends on your intention.
But ew!
If you're feeding it to a partner willingly, because he ate it, she did not tell him what it was till after, but there's also cockle bread from the 1800s where you would make little loaves of bread and you would press them against the labia and then present them to your suitor be lover and be like, would you like some bread? It was a love charm. Mm-hmm. Yep.
So you were talking about this Icelandic spell? Go ahead.
Yeah. That one's awful. I hate that one so much. But so it's for a man to love a woman, or for a man who wants to gain the affections of a woman. You are to
Christina, holy smokes. Indeed. Go ahead.
Spill your man juices upon the floor in her entryway and draw the sigil, and she has to walk over it. And I'm just picture a man jerking off in some strange lady's doorway and then getting down on his hands and knees and drawing a sigil and then sitting in the bush waiting to see her come out of the house and walk through it.
I am not going to lie. If I caught a dude doing that, I would literally videotape him and make it go viral. I put that shit up everywhere. I'd be like, okay, so on the weirdness factor.
Or my favorite one, which I love because it's kind of wholesome and less horrifying. You can fascinate a woman by writing her name into a block of cheese and feeding it to her.
Okay, yeah, I can definitely buy that one.
And I'm like, if you're gonna give me cheese and wine, like of course you're gonna have my attention. Like,
yeah, pretty much better than yeah. Oh my god. Oh Jesus,
but
yeah.
love spells get gross. They really can.
That is so wrong. That's beyond wrong. One, who would consent to eating any of this stuff? And two, who the hell would do this? Okay, Christina. Me too. Yep. She's on the cheese train too. Honestly, I am trying to think back of any guy that I really had the hots bad for. I would not do this to any of them. Not even back then. I don't know. Nico, what about you? Jesus.
So I haven't. This goes to my weird ethics. I don't like forced love spells. I'm not gonna say that you can't do them. I love self-love spells, like Christy said. What about self-love spells? I love them.
Yeah. Christina, what about self-love spells? Yeah, that's great. But don't like eat your own panty ones.
Yeah, self-love spells, drawing love to you without like putting a description on somebody, great. It's not that I have issues with like spells that like warp free will to a point, but I have an issue with the relationship that is forced. That there's just something unnaturally wrong about it, and that if your partner ever finds out that what you did to get them to be in the relationship with you, would you stay with them? Would you leave?
Well, no, at that point all of your actions are governed by the spell.
Yeah, and then you have to
sit there.
Yeah. But like once you become aware of it and it's like I would try to leave at that point, be like,
yeah, definitely break the spell. But you also got to remember, and Becca says it depends on what type of cheese. No Limburger here. Yeah, true. But no, and here's the thing too, Nico. I mean, by the time you figure out the spell, what happens if you guys already have kids? I mean, Jesus.
Then
that's a whole nother level. You know?
Well, that's one of those, like, if there's kids involved, trying to cut the tie with the person that you have kids with, you can't.
No.
Because you've now entangled yourself, like, in a level that's not something you can get rid of.
Aren't you happy you like guys?
Sometimes.
Yeah. It's like, yes!
It's a blessing in sometimes and a curse in others.
Yeah.
Because, like, on the hand, I like men, but also, ew, men.
Yeah. I can't say no to that one. Christina, if someone can't love me naturally, then I won't force them to. Yeah, no. I joke about stuff like that, but no way. Not under any circumstances. It's just not cool.
Oh yeah. And there's all kinds of all kinds of weird spells like that. And this comes from a time in folk magic where a lot of these spells were used against oppressors. So you were trying to, like in Hoodoo, these are spells used against like slave masters. So you're trying to like ensure your safety. So,
oh wow,
what's the best way to survive? Yeah. Albeit a horrible thing.
Yeah, I mean,
if you can make the white man who's going to like beat you fall in love with you and treat you well, would you not for your safety?
Yeah, but
It's
still,
the
ew.
Yeah, it's the context of when the spells were used for, but
Sorry.
in modern times, it gets kind of gross and assaulty in times.
Antoinette, not cool at all. Oh,
Yeah,
Antoinette,
yeah.
now don't tell me you wouldn't use some panty magic on the guys you like. I know her. She's gonna be like, but yeah.
It's been a running joke with my cousins where it's like, I told them about it, and it was like, "Do you know about the Southern spaghetti? If a Southern woman offers to make you spaghetti on the first
No,
date, never ever accept."
seriously, it's that rampant?
It's just the running joke
Oh,
of,
thank God. Oh my God. Becca, when I was in rehab, they really, really wanted me to go into single motherhood. They wanted me to cut ties with my husband and get on the struggle bus, plus escaping all the binding we've done. No effing way that was working out in my favor. Okay.
that's
Yeah,
rough.
yeah, it is. Like, that's just, I don't know, man. Hold on, wait. Christina, I've been reading a lot about pagan witchcraft and seems interesting.
Oh yeah, there's so many flavors. I guess is one of the ways you could say that. There's so many different traditions and different practices in different places. And for me personally, it's so fascinating to learn about how other people do witchcraft.
Mhm. Becca, it's lifelong, baby. Oh my God. Okay. I guess so. Dang. Um, After all that blood magic. Now there is another question here. All right, Nico. Breaking hexes and curses. How do you break a love spell? Any love
How
spell.
do you break a love spell? Ooh, that can be difficult. So there, it depends on. Hopefully, I have the party there that did the love spell, so that they can tell you what they've done.
Okay, if you don't, you just want to get out of it.
I would start with a generic like spell breaking reversal. So go back to the flip a candle over,
Okay.
and then I'm gonna take. So you take a cup of water and fill it with water, and then you're going to like move this around the person if possible, or put their name under the cup.
Okay.
Put a plate on top of it. Flip it over. So this now acts as the vessel to hold the spell.
Okay.
So you've now inverted the spell, and then we're going to light a candle to reverse and break it on top. So that's the candle that's flipped upside down with the wick carved out of the bottom.
Okay. Wow.
And that should reverse most things. Now, if this is a spell that's like one of the blood love spells, those can be harder to do. The one spell that I have that might work for that is you have to sacrifice something of value to.
Not a kid or a pet. Okay.
No, no, no. This is it's a monetary object.
Okay.
So mine uses a pearl. So you have to crush a pearl and offer it to Aphrodite.
Okay.
Um, that the spell that you've asked for, or that somebody's asked for, was asked for the wrong reasons, and like essentially beg them to reverse it.
Okay.
But you have to give something significant enough because somebody went through the work to ask for this to be done, and you need to offer something large enough to get their attention to be like, hey, they messed up. They didn't know what they were doing. Which
No,
is why I like pearls because they hold enough value that it's like, okay, that's a little costly for a spell ingredient, but also common enough that you can probably get your hands on some old jewelry that's got a pearl on it, or
you can actually order them online too.
yeah,
Christina Maldonado, how long would you have to do the spell for?
for a reversal spell.
Mm-hmm. Any
Uh,
reverse spell, really.
it kind of depends on what's going on. So if it's a one-off, you can do it once. Um, Now, if you're actively being worked on by a practitioner, I typically tell people between 3 days to 2 weeks.
Okay.
You can go longer. I know people that will do a spiritual cleanse every day for like an entire month. It kind of depends on if you know who is working against you and how annoyed they are. Like, there's a lot of questions to ask when it comes to these kinds of like workings of, who'd you piss off? What have you been doing? Where have you been? Like, are you involved in the pagan community? Like, if you are, what practices do you do? What deities do you work with? What spells have you done recently? Like, who have you pissed off?
Okay. So, if you do know the name, if you do know who it was, oh, hold on, Chrissy. Chrissy, removing a spell from yourself is easier than other spells on others as you're the one in control of your own body. Just FYI. Well,
Yes, yes.
that's pretty logical. Okay. So if you know the name, it's going to be easier. You just put their name under the candle, right?
Yep.
But if you don't know the name, and a lot of my clients do not know, they have no clue what's going on.
Psalms 109, and then for my enemies. Easiest one.
Okay.
Or what is it? Is it Psalm 23? 1 second.
Thanks for joining us, by the way, Chrissy. This is awesome. With the Tuesday night talks, I normally keep it to just me and one guest. And actually, you know what, Chrissy? Is there an area you would like to talk about on a Tuesday night talk? Because I'd love to interview you too. So let me know.
It has escaped me, but there's a specific psalm against curses too. I just, for the life of me, cannot think of what it is off the top of my head.
You know, Nico, I know you don't have the items probably right now, but would you be willing to record a short video of you doing just a blanket reversal spell?
Yeah.
So people could see you do it. That way I can put it out on Des Moines New Age Radio.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Because honestly, it's a lot easier when you actually see somebody do it. The mirror one and the candle one, and then maybe a psalm reading. Do like a 3-part video if you can do it. And hold on. Chrissy, I don't really do Tuesday as I have another commitment. I just jump in as I was free at the moment. Okay, no worries. I completely understand. But yeah, no, just something so as people can see, hey, this is what I do, or at least this is what I can go back to. And that way I can put it out on Des Moines New Age Radio and Des Moines New Age YouTube. I'll put it out on Facebook too, guys. But yeah, or would you be willing for me to phone you up and us do one of these where you have your stuff set up? What would you rather do?
I can do it either way. I can make a TikTok video and send you that, and then you can plug that through, or...
Actually, I'd rather just phone you up and do a recording.
Okay.
Would that work?
Yep.
Okay, because I don't really want to do it live because people would be asking questions and interrupting. That's my only issue. Hold on here. Christina, is everyone feeling the change in weather yet? Oh, yeah. I would definitely tune into that, Becca. Okay. Yeah, then I would probably have you do it live on one of these. It's going to be a special one-off. And then I would publicize it, but I wouldn't be answering comments or questions. I would just be having you go through the motions, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Just so everybody can know how to do it. And then we would recover, you would hold up the mirror charm and whatever else to actually give them a physical idea. Oh, Christina, me too. Okay, but that would be a special one-off program. Normally when I do like ethics and mediumship or something like this, it is a one-off. That way, I mean, it's a special program. There we go.
Mm.
Okay. So you free next Tuesday for animism?
Yeah.
Swanks. Can you give the people here a quick precursor?
So, animism is the spiritual belief that everything has a spirit attached to it. That everything has um, its own opinions, its own stories. That everything is a living object that you can interact with on a spiritual level,
Mhm.
and that sometimes our control of certain things, like the rain, a river, um, these are a physical thing, but also there's a spirit attached to that. And this
Nice.
includes herbs, crystals, animals, like everything that's created has a spirit attached to it.
Cool. And
Annabelle.
I was going to say, oh God, and we are going to cover that in more depth next Tuesday. Becca, what's your cat's name, Nico?
Annabelle. Like the doll.
Oh my God. Okay.
She's not possessed, I promise.
That's awesome. Um, so, I mean, is there anything else you'd like to bring up about breaking this stuff? Diagnosing, breaking, anything like that?
If you have questions, reach out to a store, a professional, a church member, and it never hurts to ask for help. Even if there's nothing that's been done to you, even if it is solely for peace of mind, it never hurts.
Very much so. Hold on. Christina, cool. Becca, like Pocahontas song, just around the river bend. Nice.
Yes.
Nice, nice, nice. Okay. Is there anything else you'd like to bring up?
We covered the speaking your own things into existence. I will say that up until recent times, 9 times out of 10, people are dealing with like unconsciously directed negative energy or like a self block.
Mhm.
Um, it's rare that somebody's actively doing work on you because the amount of time, energy, and commitment that this takes to do successfully
All right.
is tremendous. So when I do my justice works, this can take anywhere from a week to a month. And then, like, there's the financial compensation of candles, herbs, my
Yeah.
time and energy. I'm working 7-day candles for this. So, you're working a week straight at a time every night.
Yeah.
And, like, you have to consider, who have I upset that badly that they're going to be that petty to me? And I'm not saying that somebody won't, but I'm saying that the chances are of you putting somebody or upsetting somebody to that level that they're going to go through these extremes is slim. I'm
I
not
was
saying you don't have negative energy on you, though.
I was gonna say no. That was always my thought process. I'm like, there's no. I mean, nobody would be this petty. Where are they getting the time, money, and energy? That was always my thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I have been proven very wrong.
Yeah,
I have
yeah.
been proven so wrong. It's scary. Becca X. Every rock and tree and creature has a life, has a spirit, has a name. Yeah.
Yes.
um. So we'll call next Tuesday night the Pocahontas show, huh? No, I'm teasing. No. All right, Nico, you're gonna have to put on the Pocahontas costume and get the wig going.
Uh,
Dress that cat up as a raccoon. or find a wild raccoon. Either one. You're good. You're good. That's right.
I don't have a leather dress.
All right, wrap a broadsheet around you. Put on a turquoise necklace. You'll be fine. By the way, it's been really funny. Every year I do a day. Speaking on this, every year I do a Day of the Dead psychic fair because I love that holiday. And every time I have people going, is Aladdin actually doing this? Is it, I've got all these people trying to cancel me, and I don't tell them I'm half Mexican. I don't say anything. I just let them go. And I let them go. And I let them go. I'm just like kind of trolling the trolls at this point. So we would probably get some problems. Are you part Native American or no?
Yeah, I'm a quarter. My dad's
Okay.
Scotch or Lakota.
Okay. Remember not to tell anybody when you're wearing the Pocahontas costume.
Let's see, I have some regalia, but I believe it's at my parents' house.
Well, you're going to have to do some makeshift for this. Can you sing?
Badly?
Becca, Annabelle loves you, clearly. Haha. Yes, you're a kitty cat. Annabelle does love you. Not the doll, thank God. Anyway.
Oh, yeah, I don't have a haunted doll anymore.
Good job. Why would you get it in the first place?
It was for experimentation.
Oh, God.
It didn't go as well as I planned. I'll be totally honest. It was
Oh,
mislabeled. So there was a shop here in town that was selling haunted artifacts.
dear God, why?
Because people like spooky things. It was at an oddities and like curios expo, and I was like, interesting. Like it was $12, and I was like, okay, for
Quick thing.
$12, I'll take the chance.
No. Quick thing. How do people protect themselves when they're going into that stuff and there's haunted stuff? I mean, most thrift shops and everything have problems anyway, but how do they keep from taking that stuff home?
Cover your hair, bandana, hat, tie your hair up. You can put protection oil on your hair. I If I bring something home from the thrift store, I either smudge it or wash it out with salt water, like salt and holy water.
You do it before you get it inside the property, right?
Yep. I'll smudge it in, like out of my trunk.
Okay.
Or as far as like walking around, you'll know if there's something you should not touch.
Okay.
You just kind of get this thing of like,
Not
ew.
touch it.
Or like, I really want to, and then you have to stop yourself and be like, no, no, we're not
Now,
touching that.
a lot of people have kids with them who will touch anything,
Give them a bath when you
or a
get home.
spouse like mine who will also touch anything.
You have that problem too.
Yep.
Mine likes to like knows enough to get himself in trouble, but not enough to like practice all the time, but just enough to get in trouble. Like religiously pagan, and then like enough witchy knowledge to be a problem.
What did you bring home? No, you can't keep it. Don't lick it. Put it back. That kind of thing. Yep.
He carved runes into one of our cups, and I was sitting there reading it, and he carved Lagos and Othala into the cup. So it's Family Lake on the cup. And I had to look at him and be like, Alex, what what is family water? Why? For what purpose? Why do we need emotions and ancestral like land? Like what purpose does this have?
Interesting.
And he's like, I don't know, I got bored and I drew him on there. And I was like,
Ah!
you remember in the Havamal where it says that you should not carve the runes lest you not know the meanings, for you may make somebody sick? Did you forget about the whole doing rune magic with not? And I'm just like, Alex, oh god. At least, and then I'm like, it's the like it can't be that bad. I'm sitting there like it's emotional and family. So it's like, so what? Is this my crying cup now? I'm just gonna drink my coffee and cry.
Probably, probably. No, that sounds like something Dennis might do if he was inclined or if he was bored.
Oh yeah,
Chrissy, yeah, yeah, we've been there with Meredith the dog. Glad she is gone. That is another story.
yeah. The doll's name was Meredith.
Oh dear God. Okay, so protection, cover the hair, protection oil, and if the kids get into anything, or the spouse, give them a bath.
Yeah, you can use protection oil on them too. What
Okay.
like or
What kind? What is your recommendation?
so for protection oil against spirits specifically, I would use rosemary because that protects against negative spirits, draws luck and love. So that
Okay.
one wouldn't be bad. And
Rosemary. Now, essential oil, do
you
you
could
use it?
use essential oil.
Okay.
I use rosemary and cedar oil in a blend.
Okay. Now, I was actually going to ask this question next, Becca. And I'm glad you jumped to it. There are a lot of people that take their kids and small babies and children out to ghost hunts. How can we keep stuff off of them in your tradition? Now, I'm going to read her question. Can we talk about how immature and inappropriate that paranormal show with Zach Braggins was? Ghost Adventures? You know, I can't dox anybody else, but I can say, can we tell people how to keep ghosts and ghouls and goblins and nasties off of their babies during ghost hunts, as well as
Uh,
protection for themselves? And no, we do not wear amethyst and moonstone during ghost hunts. All right, go ahead.
First off, don't recommend taking children to paranormal activities.
Okay, I
Uh,
never said anybody recommended it. I never said it was a good idea. I just said I keep getting cases. And so I'm going to ask you because you know what? I am a lot nicer than I really am.
agrimony and rue in the shoes.
Okay.
You can put that under the sole of the shoe. Kid won't even know it's there. They're not going to eat it. It's not going to like get into anything. You can
Well,
use
clearly you don't have children on TV.
you
They're going
can
to eat.
glue that sucker back down. I
No.
did that for my nephew's shoe. I super glued his soles back down.
Now, what about little babies? Baby
Uh,
babies.
Little babies, you can use like a Saint Benedict charm. Uh, they have the little pin ones that you can pin on.
Baby pin, not a good idea. Is there something basically just how do you keep these kids from getting pizzazzed and possessed? I did have a client walk into the store, and I won't say who, and their kid ended up being at like 16, 17. The spirit was done, so it just flipped out of the kid. They're like, we don't know why our baby's personality changed after we took him on all those ghost hunts. You know?
I think it kind of goes back to spiritual hygiene.
Mm.
Um, so outside of infants, I would recommend using a spiritual bath of rosemary, thyme, basil. If you can get your hands on it, rue. If you can't, basil works. Um, you can use blessed waters. You can use Florida water with it. You can use um, blessed salt,
Do
anything
you,
like that.
do you recommend the herbs or the oils in a bath?
Fresh herbs if possible. Dried if you need to. You want to boil it if you're using dry to rehydrate the herbs. Make a tea. Let that cool down and then pour from head to toe or wash your hands in it. And then picture the energy cycling through the hands to clear them.
Okay.
No, outside of babies, that's safe to do for most ages unless they have a specific allergy to one of those herbs.
Right.
Um, I've also seen people just do the quick little holy water spritz.
Okay.
Um,
Now, for babies, what do you do?
Babies, I would honestly, the easiest one would probably be just to spritz them with some blessed water because there's nothing in it besides water and salt. I don't have to worry about allergies. I don't have to worry about anything getting tangled on them. Otherwise, pass the child under like a broom,
Oh, what?
honestly. Under a broom. Like hold a broom bristles above the child and
Okay.
move the child through it to cleanse their energy.
Okay. Awesome.
Um,
You know,
also, the theory
one
that
of
you can.
the one of the things I've done, and I want to get your opinion on it. Um, I do a protection kit for kids, and that's black tourmaline, obsidian, white selenite, clear quartz, citrine, and tigerite.
Yeah.
And I just have them stuff it either under the crib mat or in the car seat carrier, whatever, or even put it in a stuffy.
hmm The only one I would change is I would add bronzite.
See, I can't get it small enough to stuff in there.
Ah, fair. Let's say I've seen some pretty small pieces of it.
All the
It's
ones
harder
I've
to find in bigger pieces, in my opinion.
no,
But
all
it
the
may
ones
just be out here.
I find are pretty. Uh, Becca,
Otherwise, carnelian.
carnelian. Interesting. Why carnelian? I'm just curious.
Protection against physical harm and accidents.
Mm-hmm. That's actually a good one. I've got carnelian pebbles too. I think I'll start throwing that in. Becca X. I love rosemary. My oldest son's name is Basil, but would have been rosemary or clover if it were a girl. Wow.
Oh,
Christina. Some people are too stupid to have kids. Sorry if that's me. No, I say that every day. Actually, multiple times a day. But anyway, we're not going to discuss that. But no, okay. So anything else on the ghost hunts, the thrifting, anything like that? And also, I've got one client who inherited a car from his deceased relative, and it just drips with nasty energy. She thrifted all the time, and
go get it
she's
blessed.
blessed
That's the
by.
what anybody, whatever denomination, whatever faith you are, go get it blessed. So that's one of the biggest issues I see with practitioners. It's the same thing with children. What are the two things you never think of putting protection spells on? Or cleansing? Your car,
Mhm.
your children,
Really?
your pets.
Really? Okay. Um, I do. I'm like, okay, dude, I have so many fucking charms and stones in my car. It's not even funny.
Yeah, so do I. I have like my anti-road rage charms.
Okay. It's
I
like,
keep a bloodstone in my car because I get a little road ragey. I won't even lie. Like not enough to hit anybody, but enough to like yell in my car a little bit. And then a carnelian, of course, because I am accident prone, so I need all of the help I can get to prevent any accidents of any sort.
it, my mom and I would share the car, and she'll get in and be like, "What the?" And as a stone falls out. My mom
Oh
is
yeah.
Mexican, but she's very grounded. She's not, you know. She's like, I'm like, don't worry, mom. The selenite and the obsidian and everything is for cleansing. She's like, fine. And then she takes her little wipes and wipes off the steering wheel and starts driving. But no, I mean, with my kiddo, I always call down protection on him because he won't wear anything. But when it was getting really bad and he had to go to his doctor's appointments, I would put a Palo Santo bracelet on him, and that worked. He was fine with that. Becca X, can I do the broom thing?
Yeah.
WIH. I don't know what that spells. Chrissy, wearing a protection symbol or bracelet from kids always work for my kids.
Gonna do
Yeah,
that. Oh, with my 5-year-old. Yes.
with my 5-year-old. Ooh, and laughy emojis.
So my favorite way to do that is I get the little cinnamon brooms in the
Mhm.
fall that are like the little 4-inch ones, and I tack one above my front door.
Nice. Inside or
So
out?
inside.
Okay.
So when people walk in and out of the house, they're cleansed. So go out, do a ghost hunt, come back into the house, immediately cleansed. It stays outside.
Yeah, most of the people I know don't do ghost hunts because we see the crap already. It's
I
like
like to poke the bear. We've already established this. I brought a haunted doll home. It's not the first haunted object I've had in my house. It probably won't be the last. The doll was a learning experience, though, because it was a much more malevolent spirit than advertised, and I should have known better. But I wanted to believe them. But that's a story for a different time.
I was gonna say, Nico, alrighty, you know what? Monkey. Anyway. All right, my dear. Well, you're starting to yawn and I'm starting to get hungry again. So we're at 2 hours and 9 minutes. I normally try and keep these to 45. All right. Well, so next Tuesday we're on for animism.
Yep.
And then this Thursday coming up, guys, it's going to be about star seeds and star children. I'm going to have Doc Cromwell on, as well as Hallie Ehrhaus, Angel Lynn, I believe. And I'm not sure who else is going to show up. Nico, do you know anything about the star seed theory? No.
Not enough.
Okay. All right. But I am going to be bringing them on. You guys know I love fringe topics, fringe science. I'm all about aliens. I'm all about ancient civilizations. That's kind of my bag. Just love it. By the way, Nico, do you know anything about Lemuria, Atlantis, stuff like that?
A little bit.
Okay. Well, when I do the crypto anthropology, so Lemuria, Atlantis, Pangaea, all that fun stuff, I will definitely send you a link because I just love talking about it. Anyway, and then this Wednesday, I'm going to be doing a gem talks on how to cleanse your crystals because I just got a question about it. So, yeah. All right, Nico, my dear, I will see you this coming Tuesday. And is there anything else you want to add, hon?
Not that I can think of.
All right. Well, wish me some luck. Also, how much do you charge to do reversal spells?
Simple reversal spells, I charge $30.
Okay, cool. Because, yeah. Now, how much do you charge to curse people I don't like?
Depends on what kind of curse you want. Like, are animal parts involved that I have to source? What specifically am I cursing?
No, just explosive diarrhea while they're stuck in traffic constantly for a month.
Ooh, actually, I have one for that. I don't know. I might do that one for free. I haven't used it on anybody yet. I just kind of want to. I just want to see.
I may have to send you some names. Can you do a general one on that?
Just all of the enemies.
Yep.
Develop IBS.
Oh, God. Like, what's happening? Oh, damn. All right. All right, guys. I am going to kill it here. Mwah. I love you all. Nico, thank you so much for coming on. Always a pleasure.
No problem.
Have a good night, honey.
You too.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
All right, folks. That was Nico O'Neill. Always a pleasure to have him on. Always love talking with him. He is just amazing. And he is a walking encyclopedia of magical stuff. So also don't do any blood love spells, please, for the love of God, and no panty magic. Jesus, dear God. And if you do, don't say you heard it here. All right. Christina. See you all on the next one. Thank you, Christina. All the loves to all of you. Becca, thank you so much for joining us. Chrissy, Antoinette, everybody. Judy, mwah. Love you all. And like and subscribe for more content. And follow me on Spotify, Des Moines New Age Radio, and the Psychic Roundtable, as well as Alicia's Desk. All of these, that's where all the programming is going to be, just in case my Facebook or YouTube glitch out. Facebook was already getting a little bit glitchy today. Again, the tech gremlins problem. So yeah, just follow me on Spotify because that's going to be where everything is most stable. All right, guys. Love you all. Have a good night. And I will see you for Gem Talks tomorrow night and the Psychic Roundtable for Thursday night. Mwah.